Hello and welcome back to another video here on the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We're back again today for another video. It's a bit of a match reaction, although be it, at least, nearly 24 hours after the game has happened, to West Bromwich Albion 0, Sheffield United 2, or Sheffield United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. We'll chat a little bit about that game, talk about the bits that went well, talk about the bits that didn't go so well, and talk ultimately about why we lost, how we lost it, and what we need to do to improve. Of course, it's not a good time to be an Albion fan. Of course, ninth in the table at the moment, and could potentially. Well, obviously, depending on how many goals Preston score in their next game, if we lose, we could end up in 12th by the next time we play. So, yeah, interesting to see. But, yeah, we'll be chatting all over the details for the Sheffield United game. Obviously, not an instant match reaction. I do feel it's best to calm down before plugging in and starting a video. Always best to think it through, have a little read of what people are thinking, get the consensus, have a look at the stats, and start to sort of generate an opinion that's not fueled by I'm really angry about losing, that sort of thing. So, yeah, if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, but yeah, keep subscribing for more Albion content to notification bell on, because that gives you a little notification every time there's a new video on the channel. And comment your thoughts on the game below. I'd love to hear them. Love to hear all of your thoughts as always. But yeah, let's crack on with dissecting Sheffield United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. So let's start off this analysis of that game, Sheffield United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. I'm going to call it a poor loss because, let's be honest, it's a 2-0 loss. We haven't scored and we've conceded twice, so it probably doesn't go down as a really tight game or anything. But, up until 40 minutes, we were very much, a little bit in control of the game. I'd say I wouldn't go as far to say dominant or anything like that, but I'd certainly say that we didn't look like we were playing badly at all, and we looked like we had a little bit of control over the game. But obviously 40 minutes, we all know what happened there. We'll chat a little bit about why that happened. 39 minutes, if I'm completely correct in saying, it really changed the game. To be honest, we had a big chance of getting back into it after Billy Sharp's 22nd minute goal. And yeah, that chance was blown out of the water by a moment of stupidity, which of course we'll get to later on in the game. But and then obviously Billy Sharp finishing off the deal with an 80th minute doubler to double Sheffield United's advantage, and of course put them on level on points with Albion. Of course, as I said in the introduction, currently 9th. I think we could go 11th or 12th if I remember rightly. By the next time we played. So, it's difficult for Albion fans at the moment, but Steve Bruce is in. That's his first game in charge. Started at the place where his managerial career began, which is really nice. His reign is 1,001st appearance as manager, was in, of course, against the team he made his first appearance as manager. So, yeah, that's nice to see. A nice homecoming for Steve Bruce, but probably not nice in the end after conceding 2 goals and not scoring 1. But Steve has come in. He's tried to make us play a more functional and more, I'd say, attractive brand of football. You can see in the way in the first half that we kept a good amount of the ball. To be quite honest, I think there was, times that we did pick up the ball quite a lot, and we tried to keep it and try to sort of hold on to it rather than Ishmael ball where you'd end up booming the ball down the pitch. It's coming back, booming it down the pitch again. It was a bit more trying to play through the thirds and play through the lines of Sheffield United's formation a bit quicker and a bit more fluently than Ishmael, rather than playing over the top of the lines. Playing through them was a bit more effective, I found, in this game. And I think Steve has found a formation, well, maybe not a formation, but a system and a sort of style of play that kind of suits us against what I would consider to be a good opposition, regardless of their status in the league. Obviously, same points as us and just a place below. But I certainly consider Sheffield United to be one of the better teams in this league, no matter what the league position tells you. Paul Heckingbottom has got them on an upward trajectory after transforming them back to the 3 at the back that they were so good at under Chris Wilder. But if I'll start by talking about the red card. Okay, well, we'll start by talking about the red card. A stupid, reckless, needless challenge when Conor Hurahan isn't advancing forward. Let's just get that out there. If you watch the game, I wouldn't be able to put highlight clips over the top of it for copyright reasons and things like that. Don't want to be told off for using highlights of games that I don't own, but you all know what I'm talking about. Conor Hurahan checks back. I'll see if I can use some screenshots maybe, but we'll see. Conor Hurahan checking back past Garner and past Livermore, and almost towards his own goal, and Livermore comes in and he clatters him. Let's be fair. He does clatter him. He goes. I've seen people saying it's from the back of him. I think the way that he sort of clattered him is kind of from the side, sort of around the hip area, which probably could be perceived as from the back of him. I think it was more from the side, but it still doesn't make it a good challenge at all. I think it was over the top of the ball, and it was heavy for no reason. Let's just rewind and take a look at the situation. Conor Hourihane is going nowhere. He's not in the penalty area. He's not bearing in on goal. He's not about to thread a ball through that's gonna part the defence and means Sam Johnson has to make a massive save like he did so many times in this game. It is literally a little Cruyff turn on Diangana, and he's heading towards or almost sideways across his own 18, across the line of the 18-yard box, in parallel to that. So there's no need for Livermore to make that challenge. There's no need for him to come in like a train really and just put in that tackle. It's needless. I heard obviously Steve Bruce has come out and defended his player. That's fair enough. And what I mean by making that tackle is making the one that he did. He can by all means try and cover the pass in front of Hourihane and try and sort of sweep in front of him by lying on the floor, really, or But he's gone over the top of the ball. There's never really a need to go over the top of the ball unless the ball is in the air, and there's no really need to kind of aerially, charge yourself at somebody unless the ball is in the air to be won. It wasn't. It was on the floor. Simple Cruyff turn. He's about to play a pass. He's very late. I can't quite work out what Livermore is thinking. Far too many times I think he's cost us really with the stupidity. I think that's 5 red cards in 5 years for Livermore and 43 yellows. That's his 3rd suspension of the season, if I remember rightly as well. Obviously getting sent off against Huddersfield, and also accumulated 5 yellow cards and also sent off in this one. So this will be his 3rd suspension. I hear that Albion have appealed the decision. Yeah, it was not one that I believe is going to get appealed. I don't think it was particularly clear that it was a yellow card or particularly clear that there was an obvious error. That's the second time he tried to appeal it, and that's the second time that his ban has been extended. So, well, it could be the second time that his ban has been extended. So, yeah, I think Steve Bruce, he really did stick up for Livermore in his post-match press conference and talking to the Albion media team as I watched this morning. Obviously, I do like that he's backed his player. I do like that he's not going to do what Ishmael did and kind of say that, you're stupid and you've done something wrong. And I do like that he's backed the player, but in this case, I don't think you can back the player. I don't think there's any reason to. He's your captain. He's let you down. The reason that you've lost that game 2-0 and haven't been in with a fighting chance of getting an equaliser is because, and the reason probably you've conceded a second, is because Jake Livermore has been sent off, and his act of stupidity, his act of madness that I'm going to say, isn't a one-off. Let's be fair. This has happened a couple of times this season. Huddersfield, I think the game was already sort of drifting away. So, yeah, I suppose he didn't have a great impact on that game. But surely, Livermore, you can see, Steve Bruce, that was a stupid tackle to make. He made a big tackle and a red card tackle during Sam Allardyce's debut as West Bromwich Albion manager, and we didn't really see him for a while after that. So, yeah, for me, I think that that's an uncaptainly thing to do. I personally wouldn't put him back into the side after the suspension, and it's reminding me of Mowatt really in a nothing situation. If Fazer playing the midfield third, that's just not really going anywhere, and he's just gone in and clattered Conor Hourihane with like a train, and there's absolutely no need to do that. So, yeah, in my opinion, Jake Livermore deserved his red card. I think that was the right decision. Maybe if I watch it back another couple of times, it might look a little bit of a better challenge than it was in live and from the couple of replays I've seen. There's just no need for it, and I think the excessive force that he used really was probably a big factor in the referee's decision. I agree with Steve Bruce in the fact that maybe he should have consulted his 4th official. I do feel he pulled out the red card hastily, but and largely maybe on the reaction and stuff of the players and sort of didn't really have that time to think about it. It was a split-second decision from the ref, but that certainly doesn't make it the wrong decision. It was definitely a hasty decision, and I would have preferred him to have had a little chat and maybe thought it through a little bit more, but I think it was the right decision. I think he's been stupid and reckless there, and I don't think he should come back into the side, quite frankly, when his suspension is up. That will probably be, a larger game ban now, especially if the suspension doesn't happen. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I don't think that Livermore should have made that challenge, and I think he's let the side down. Other than that, I think if the game was relatively even, I think Sheffield did have a couple of chances to score. And Iliman Ndiaye went in on goal, and it was a good save from Sam Johnston. Another good save from Sam Johnston. I can't remember who had the shot from outside the area, but it came to George Baldock, I think, and he came following in. But again, Sam Johnston there to save. So yeah, difficult game really to analyse. I think that I'll firstly start by the formation. I think that was nice. I think 4-3-3 does suit us. I thought Reach had a particularly poor game. I think some of his shooting, considering what we saw at Sheffield Wednesday, some of the P-rollers that he was sending towards the goalkeeper were a little just misjudged, ill-timed, that sort of thing. I thought Colin Grant was missing in that left-hand side. I've said it numerous times. You may not agree with me. His goals are really, really important. I don't underestimate them. And if he gets a goal every game by playing like that, I don't care as long as he's bagging the goals. When he's not bagging the goals, it really does amplify the need for a better performance. And today, Colin Grant did not, and in that game, Colin Grant did not provide a better performance. Dean Garner, however, I thought he looked brighter. I was surprised to see him taken off at half-time, to be honest. He obviously had that big chance which he dilly-dallied on, took a couple of poor touches with trying to balance it with his shoulder. Not the right decision in my opinion, and you can call it good defending all you want, but the reality is that Dean Garner should have put that chance away and should have really set Albion on the way. The back four was interesting. I personally, I'm wavering towards that maybe a back three is where we're more settled defensively. I mean, I'm not convinced that a four at the back suits us at the moment, considering the amount of time that we played with a three at the back. I think it's nice to change those formations up the pitch, but I do kind of feel like that four at the back is a bit difficult to adjust to now. I think that Ajayi and Clark left quite a few gaps between them. I thought Furlong left a gap in behind quite too often. And I don't think there was enough cover from the wings in terms of covering the wing backs of Sheffield United. Colin Grant, as I mentioned, was not really tracking back, often found walking. So yeah, I do think there was a lack of cover in that midfield area and sort of the wing area when Sheffield came forward, and obviously that can be partially down to Livermore's red card. It's a big turning point in the game. Up front, Andy Carroll I thought played quite well. I thought he wore his heart on his sleeve and played with passion and played with a lot of courage. I think that he battled all the way through the game. I thought that some of the fouls they were giving against him were particularly unreasonable, to be honest. I really don't get some of the fouls that he was given. 5 fouls committed in that game. I was just a bit baffled as to how many he was actually being given against. Some of the times, yeah, they were justified. He was pushing people in the back. He's a physical guy. But some of the times he was literally just holding players off, challenging for the ball, and it was given, to be honest. So yeah, for me, Andy Carroll played. I might even go as far as to say the player of the match, but not player of the match, a man of the match for West Brom certainly. And then you've got Alex Mowatt, who played in a slightly deeper position. He was a 6, and then you've got Livermore and Reach as the 2-8s. I think that worked. I do think it worked. But again, I have to go back to Livermore red card. It let us down. It was annoying. It was stupid. And that's you just would love to see how that game went without that Livermore red card. Up to madness. Sheffield, I don't think were particularly spectacular in their victory. I don't think they were, real eyebrow raisers of a team, but they certainly are functional and certainly get the job done. And a team that are well organised, have some good attacking plays as they did, getting down the wings. I thought Bogle and Baldock looked a real threat. But overall, I think, we did have the chance to try and get a result against them. And I think we were largely let down by a captain again, to be honest, and disappointed that that's what I have to talk about rather than an Albion performance that has been quite unlucky. It was unlucky for the rest of the team because the captain let them down, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully we can see an improvement. Hopefully Bruce can see what happened there. But yeah, it's not looking good for Blackburn on Monday. But then again, the performance was more positive, I must say, up until the red card. We did look very much in the game. I think we were unfortunate to go behind. But yeah, certainly I think that it's going to be difficult to see what happens next. And obviously Blackburn's an even bigger game now, looking at it. A good 2 weeks now coming up for Albion. Blackburn, Luton, Middlesbrough. Yeah, they're all interesting fixtures, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on. But I do have trust in Steve Bruce at the moment. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But thank you very much for watching this match reaction to Sheffield United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Drop your comments down below, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.